Um, Thank you all for joining our VIP reception, and thank you, Carolyn, for filling in for Gabby Reese. We're super excited to hear what you've been up to since last year's leadership luncheon when we were physically together, and you were walking around meeting everybody. Well, now we're going to do it virtually today. And, again, I want to really thank also Katie Kempner. This is Katie's 8th year having done this for us. Thank you, Katie. And our sponsors, our presenting sponsors, Bank of America, our contributors, Ryder. I hope they've joined in now. And our our supporters were Bacardi, John Hardy. If anyone needs jewelry, they put their great catalog in our swag bag, virtual swag bag. Kaufman Rawson, Linda Presky, and Tony Randolph, the Miller Family Foundation, Starwood Property Trust. And then we had some great friends level sponsors with Antonia Schuster, Gerson Preston Klein, Lips Eisenberg, Laura Kaplan. Thank you, Laura. South Florida Business Journal and Wells Fargo, and those that purchased tickets. So on here today are our VIP sponsors. So I'll turn it over, and I understand we'll have more people coming in, and we'll just keep on, we'll keep going as others join us.
Okay. Laura, would you like me to get started?
Sure, we can get started, and we'll just let everybody join in. I think Patrick will let them in. I'll let you take the lead. And at the end, or Katie, whether you want to intersperse, we've got time for questions. We've got questions for Carolyn. Wait, my first question before you get started: how many were with Carolyn last year at our 16th annual leadership luncheon?
I was.
Yep. Great. Okay, you're up, Katie and Carolyn.
Well, Carolyn, first of all, thank you so much for talking with us again. It's such a pleasure, and you are always so kind and accessible. You didn't get home in time. You're talking to us from your car. That is so nice.
I love technology. That's all I have to say.
So, since we talked last year, who could have imagined how drastically the world would change? I mean,
incredible. We couldn't have even begun to imagine it, and especially to this extent. So it's been a roller coaster ride, I'm sure, for everybody.
Well, can you catch us up a little bit of what's been going on with you and your company since then?
Sure. Like I mentioned, besides the roller coaster ride, I believe last year I talked a little bit about our expansion into going worldwide, into expanding the brand and brands. And obviously, then COVID hit and my industry shut down. The professional hair care industry really has taken a huge hit, kind of similar to the restaurants, in the sense that there are still even states that are somewhat shut down. And then obviously the distribution channels that I use to actually get the products out to salons and then to the public absolutely shut down at one point. So it was really a very interesting transition, because obviously people started scrambling on what do we do? How do we move forward? How do we become innovative and use new techniques to actually continue to get products into people's hands, because we can't live without our products. I don't care if we're at home, even stuck in doing Zoom calls, we have to have great hair, right? So it was interesting. The initial surge that we experienced was almost a frenzy of people buying. So thank goodness we kind of prepared, and we had a decent amount of stock in. We were able to fulfill those orders because I think people were really thinking, you know what, I don't know how long. It's kind of like the toilet paper, I don't know how long it'll be before we can get more. So we had that initial surge, and we survived that. And then obviously this whole e-commerce world came into play. So thank goodness, when I bought the company in 2017, we immediately started working on our e-commerce platform. So fast forward 3 years later, we had a decent one already built and well established and up and running. And so when people couldn't get it at their salons, or people couldn't get it through their professional distribution channels, or even the chains like Ulta, right? These massive chains nationwide that absolutely shut down. They might have had some curbside or something, but it just wasn't easy for people to get the goods. We were actually able to fulfill them through our e-commerce. And so we've seen massive, massive growth through that channel. And that's been a real help to us as well. Our worldwide expansion certainly slowed down, but it was incredible. I was able to like launch the Netherlands through Zoom calls, you know, so it's been pretty amazing. Initially, my team, I actually, since we spoke, bought a building in Miami and opened up its 10 world headquarters. We call it Insta10 Enterprises. Yes. So we have brought to Miami, you know, the headquarters of Insta10, and we've expanded on our brands as well as our worldwide expansion. It has slowed down somewhat, but we have been able to actually, I think we launched at least 5 countries this year. We had, I think, 9 or 10 on the list, but we were able to launch some. So that's been amazing.
So are there things that you were able to do, for example, with your e-commerce site, being able to fulfill orders when other places couldn't? I think I read in Forbes that in July you had $500,000 of sales on your e-commerce site. Are there certain things or operational things that you're going to do going forward that you might not have done?
Sure. I mean, e-commerce is here to stay. And I think it has completely shifted my industry. And obviously, so what we've done is invest in that even more. We've learned to navigate it better. We're expanding on it, and we're expanding on our brands that you can access through our e-commerce. So it's really just about really investing more and more into this technology. I since I've expanded my IT team, my web team that's in-house. I've expanded that. I mean, I've just really invested heavily into it and will continue to do some. And I'll tell you, it's expensive. There are a lot of growing pains growing this platform. But once you get it rolling and once you kind of get that list and those connections, it really, really starts feeding itself. And just, it's incredible what you can do on e-commerce. I think this year we'll be up to over 8 million on just e-commerce.
That's
Are you
amazing.
gonna shift your focus more to that then, or has it changed what your focus is?
It's interesting because it's actually, it hasn't necessarily shifted our focus, because what's happened is a lot of our distributors are jumping on the bandwagon. So we're doing it together. We just ran a Black Friday sale with Ulta, and we were the #1 selling SKU on Ulta. I think they were up to $4.5 million in 3 days. So Ulta is expanding their e-commerce.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're seeing this trend, not just in what we're doing, but we're seeing it across all of our distribution. The world is changing, period. And we're all doing it together. So we're helping, we're supporting them, we're growing with them, we're doing it on our own. It's on all different types of levels.
That's amazing. You mentioned that you were able to launch, for example, in the Netherlands, just simply over Zoom. So a lot of people are wondering that type of travel that people needed to do before to engage in business. It turns out you don't necessarily need it. Nothing really replaces, I think, the face-to-face interactions, but at the same time, a lot of money, a lot of time, is spent in a way that may not need to be. Do you anticipate going back, or is there going to be some version of a hybrid, the way you conduct your business?
There definitely will be a hybrid. Listen, within the beauty industry, I absolutely still believe people like to touch, feel, smell. It's a huge part of what we do. And so I do believe, there will be the trade shows worldwide and nationwide, which will continue. I think they're going to consolidate them more. I think, instead of 10 big shows a year, there's going to be 3 to 5, and they're going to be more focused, and they're going to band together. There'll be more vendors. There'll be more presence at these big shows. So I think it's going to be kind of a hybrid of the two, because I think the world has realized how much we wasted, how wasteful we were. And so I think there's hopefully going to be a nice blend between the two.
So shifting gears on a personal and very happy front, for anyone who doesn't read People magazine, which I used to love to do on a plane, you have some really big news to share.
Yes. So on top of this crazy world, this roller coaster COVID world that we've all lived the last year, I am pregnant. And we are adding to our family. We already have 4 children. We're a blended family, and we are about to have a 5th in February. So I'm 7 months pregnant. And by the time she is born, I will be 54 years old. So I'm breaking some barriers here. So we're really, really, really excited. And we're, we just another blessing. We couldn't be happier.
Well, congratulations, Mazel
Thank
Tov.
you.
And then I just want to ask you one more thing, and then open it up to anyone who has a question for you, which I'm sure they will. Is there anything besides, obviously, this beautiful addition to your family that you're especially looking forward to for the company in 2021?
My goodness.
2021.
Yeah. I mean, there have been, I just launched a makeup line called Be a 10. So, and my website is going to link to all of these additional brands under the It's a 10 Enterprises. We launched an extension line during COVID called EX10 Extensions, hairextensions.com. These are all obviously affiliated with It's a 10, and really keeping that It's a 10 quality behind them, raising the bar, and really bringing new technology and innovation. Like the makeup line, it's all about it's almost like the anti-brush makeup line. A lot of the applicators are already built into the makeup itself. They have sponges built in. They have applicators that have multifunction to them, just really making your entire face, because we launched the whole face. It fits in one little bag and makes it super easy, super user-friendly for people to actually get those professional grade makeup results without having to watch a YouTube tutorial or using a million brushes. So just really making sure we always have innovation and technology with our brands. We're also creating a coily line that's launching in the beginning of January. I'm super excited about that. Especially one of my daughters is a coily child, so that was the inspiration behind that. And also we are launching, of course, Tiny 10. We're launching a kids line, so that's going to be really great as well. And obviously bringing the quality of It's a 10 products for kids. So we have a lot going on.
You have a lot going on.
Yes.
I'm tired listening to it, although Gabby Reese says you should never be tired. I'd like to open it up to anybody who has a question for Carolyn. I think just unmute yourself and ask.
I'll go first. So Carolyn, how have you done all of this? I mean, I think back when not just forget about all the things with business, but pregnant on top of this too. All I wanted to do when I was pregnant was put my head down and sleep. So, but you've done things that people don't get done in a lifetime. So what's your secret?
Well, trust me, I've put my head down and sleep around 3:30. It especially the first trimester, it hit me. I definitely became narcoleptic. So when you have those times, you take it. You go and do what you need to do and take the breaks. But truthfully, you have to realize a lot of these projects take me years to develop. The makeup line was a 3-year project. So these things don't happen overnight. Although it looks like I just blow all this out overnight, it doesn't happen that way. And staying diligent, staying persistent, and staying very dedicated to what it is that I want to create and bring to the industry is really how I do it. I happen to love what I do. So it's really not work to me. I work at odd hours. I mean, I was emailing some of my employees last night at like 9 and 10 o'clock, and they answered. I'm like, guys, please don't think you ever need to answer me at all these crazy hours that I sometimes work, because I would never expect anyone to do that. So it's just loving what you do. I think, it's not really work to me.
And then you said it took three years or more. How'd you prioritize those? Like, which one got to come first with all of these great ideas that you had?
There's some of them I actually work on simultaneously. I actually have a couple other things that I'm working on besides the ones that I mentioned. So, it's really kind of just getting the concept, focusing on the ones that you want to bring to market eventually. And sometimes I have a few irons in the fire all at once. And it's a matter of managing them, juggling them. And of course, you have to have an amazing team behind you to do that. We have expanded on our employees in our Miami office. We're building out the other half of it already. So obviously the amazing people that help support me so I can go take a nap are a big part of it. We just have a lot of the employees that work with me have been there quite a few years, and they help train some of the newer people we're bringing on. So it's all about the team. It really is.
Does anyone else have anything they want to ask Carolyn?
So Carolyn, this is Laura. When you decided, Kaplan, first of all, congratulations.
Hi, thank you.
I had my last in my 40s, so
Yes,
call me
so you know what
anytime.
it's like.
Yeah, and the best part is I have friends. I go do things with grandparents, and I go do things with with parents together and the kids. So it's fantastic. You're gonna love it. It keeps us
Thank
young.
you.
But when you decided to go digital, and direct to consumer, I imagine you had some pushback from some of your retailers, but so what was the first step you took in sort of building out your digital platform?
It was a progress, and we made some mistakes, and we I think that the original platform that we built wasn't up to par. It wasn't as informative. It was too keynote verbal, focused rather than consumer focused. So it's especially in my industry, we're in a creative industry. So you have to keep that beauty aspect to it. You have to keep that, oh my God, you've got 2 seconds to get them to want to buy this bottle. And they can't smell it or touch it, but you need to make it enticing enough. Maybe some woman with gorgeous hair, or something to pull them in, to make them want to read a little bit more about it and get those keywords in. So it's really been a balance of learning how to use true technology, which is all about keywords, engagement, all of the back end of your site, but yet blending that with how do you actually entice people into wanting to consume your beauty products, which means they have to be beautiful. It has to be about the beauty still and the creative side of it. So we had some struggles with that in the beginning. And so I think we've gotten there. I think we've really got now a very beautiful site that's very engaging. We rank high up on Google. So that's important as well. But yet we have information, and we have things that are interesting to people as well. So it's been a process. It really has. Good question.
Were you able to find your people that you needed to do the build out here locally, or did you have to go outside?
We did, but we went through. I'm now 3 years later. I'm my third person, and she's been with me the last 2 years. So we kind of went through a couple real quick. We just knew they weren't a right fit, and then we ended up finding this woman who's the beauty industry is different, but she's also a computer genius. So it was
so
awesome.
Great.
Yeah, to be able to find kind of, it's like to have a man build out a beauty site, not so much. He's great with the IT in the back end of structuring everything. But so yeah, no, it was a process like a lot of things.
Yeah, it's interesting, fascinating. Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm going to go
Thank
online shortly and order some product.
Awesome. Thank you. We have some specials, I think, going now left over from Black Friday. So check them out.
I gotta go look.
Any other questions?
Hi, this is Chio. Hi, Caroline.
Hi.
First of all, congratulations, and I'm a big fan. I use your product all the time, every single day, actually. And when I go visit my sister in Spain, I bring stacks because she doesn't find it there. So I'm gonna ask you.
We're working on expanding there.
Yes, but every time I go to Spain, I bring stacks of it.
I love it.
So yes, my question. So I also, I work in the spirits industry, so we also had a very spike in demand. So, and I work in supply chain, so I've lived through the pain. So I was wondering, in your industry, in your company specifically, if you have the supply chain in house or you outsource, and then how did you guys manage the spikes in demand?
Great question. And your industry is quite similar to mine. I know some people that have been in it over the years, and you have this whole gray market like we do, and all these kind of really kind of weird things about distributors, not distributors, very, very similar to the beauty industry. So, the interesting part about it is that we outsource. The majority of like our bottles come from China. So that's been really interesting. And, I'm in my 15th year of doing this. And so for the last few years since I took the company over, we really were focusing on making sure that we had our supply chains in order. We actually switched all of our supply chains. So when we came into these new relationships, we really helped them to understand the kind of demands that we would be putting on them. We actually asked them to, our leave-ins, we sell, like 13, 14 million bottles a year now of that. So we knew that there's certain ingredients in those products that we could actually possibly run out of, and there were silicone issues. There were silicone facilities that actually caught on fire over in like Europe, and the whole supply chain with silicones went way down and shut down. So we asked them to really load up on our key ingredients, which was, oh my gosh, it was brilliant. It was actually it was almost like we were preparing for COVID without knowing. So
wow. Yeah.
Things like that. China, initially we had put in a lot of orders. We ran out very quickly. We had to air freight in. That was $1 million expense, but we had to do it,
Yep.
So you just have to, I always say in business, it's like life. If you don't prepare for those rainy days, you're going to get caught with your pants down. And it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah.
So thank goodness we made some of those choices. My husband is a brilliant man, and we work on these concepts and things together. And, we just really kind of prepared for it. I'll tell you, there's a lot of things you can't prepare for. The actual shipping closing down.
Mm-hmm.
Your ports are so backed up. And I'll tell you, it's interesting because especially like the ports in New York, where a lot of it comes through for us, they're not excited about moving products from China.
Yeah,
they'll let them sit there an extra 3 weeks because they're just mad we have COVID. So they are not making the relationship with China any easier, between taxes, between the products coming in from China and sitting at our ports. There's so many things that people don't understand to get that final one bottle on a shelf that go into it. And when you start getting the glitches in the system, it can really, a lot of my competitors have absolutely been, hindered and really have been locked up because of issues like this. So yeah, it's been a journey.
Thank
that's
you.
for sure.
Very interesting.
So
My pleasure.
I know we have time for one more question. I understand that Gabby Adesi has a question for you.
Hi, Carolyn. I was just wondering, in terms of this time that has been so challenging with COVID, what opportunities did you find that will help you going forward?
Opportunities, that's interesting. Obviously, as I mentioned, the industry shifting. And I do believe that industry is going to be a permanent shift. I do not believe, a lot of the avenues of distribution that we used to use are going to come back. So those have been things that I've turned into opportunities to actually shift my way of actually getting my products to the consumers and connecting with the consumers directly. It's been it's been an interesting process, but truthfully, I think it's going to be better in the end. And I think we actually can build faster and more directly. So that's one of the things. But you know what else I think has been a great opportunity is to see how people have come together during this time, and to see how as humans, as brands, as entrepreneurs, we work together to get through this. We ended up donating $5 million in product to the nurses, the hospitals, people in need, especially in the beginning when people were washing their hair that much more, because they were actually saying that the virus can stick to hair, stick to your clothes, come home, rinse off, shower. And not everyone could sit there, and afford the additional, especially if they're good products. So just things like that, just seeing how we all come together, no matter what comes our way, we get through it. And that's been really a great thing as well, to see that. So I've enjoyed that.
Carolyn, it's been wonderful to catch up with you. You have so many amazing things going on personally and professionally. And I know Lori wants to just say a few words, but I wanted to say thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
Well, and I just wanted to say thank you too. And I'll speak for Katie too. We can't wait to have you in the neighborhood so we can hang out with you.
Yeah.
I cannot wait either.
This is great. We appreciate your time and for your special guest appearance. And do we get a belly shot? Are you up for that?
Let's see. There you go. It's a little side bump.
Congratulations. And again, thank you for joining us. And thank you everybody for coming on and for being with us earlier. And have a wonderful rest of your day. Happy holidays. And what is it, like a year away before you're here on the beach?
Yeah. Oh, at least maybe even
Okay.
2. That's okay though. I come down. My office is down there now. I mean,
great.
Like I said, she's born in February, and after that, I'm going to be down there a lot more. So
great. Well,
happy holidays, everyone. And
thank you
here's
so much.
2021. Let's move on from 20.
Definitely.
Yes, thank you.
2021 and silver linings.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.